Hey guys, how you doing? jpsarrireviews here, and welcome again to another reaction video. And today we're going to react to the new Batman The Dark Knight Returns premium format figure by Sideshow Collectibles. I just did my impressions of the 12 days of Sideshow, and at the same time they were dropping this pre-order. People are excited for it, of course. You know, it's I think one of the highlights of 12 days of Sideshow. And today we're going to talk about it, the good and the bad. Now, the price for this is $675. We don't have an edition size yet. I think the price is good. Of course, you know, Sideshow maintains that price range, which is affordable for most collectors. Now, the people involved in the production of this piece, we have Daniel Bell and Richard Long as the designers. Daniel Bell is the sculptor. Bernardo Esquivel is the painter, and the Sideshow design and development team is involved in the whole process. Alright guys, now we're looking at the pictures, and what can I say? This is a classic representation of Frank Miller's The Dark Knight Returns. When people think about Frank Miller's Batman, when they think about The Dark Knight Returns, they always think on this image. The most, I think, iconic image, there are two different covers in my opinion that are the most iconic. This is number one in my opinion, the best cover there. And the second one would be the last cover, of course, issue number 4 of the miniseries, which is Batman versus Superman. In my opinion, they are the most iconic covers. So I think Sideshow here, Daniel Bell and Richard Long did a fantastic job in designing this concept. It's a great concept taken out of the comic book page, which is amazing. Now, one thing I could tell you, if you really are familiar with the art or the cover, it is hard to determine actually the angle where Batman is falling when he's jumping in the sky, because everything is in a shadow, so you don't know actually which is the right angle, whether the arm is on the left or is actually the one that he's extending is the right arm. But at the same time, I think if you want to be impressive, you have to do it this way so you can see in this case Batman up front, and I think they managed to do it really good. And now we know he has a light-up feature, which I think makes it more amazing. At the same time, there's some concerns in regards to the resin that they're using for this, because technically everything that is holding this piece is just the resin. If it's a translucent resin, it means that it's, I would say, as solid as the one on the statue. As you can see here with the light-up feature, I think it's really cool. At the same time, some people are not always crazy about light-up features because they go out. And how can you replace when the LED lights here, they go out, how you can replace them? So there are concerns always in regards to it. The sculpt here reminds me a little bit of the most recent by XM Studios. I think that's a fantastic representation. For some reason, this is something that you're going to notice right now. It's like every company is competing with each other. Everyone is bringing the same character in a different way. It used to be Sideshow, the one everyone was copying, and every company wanted to do the follow-up of Sideshow. They wanted to do, Sideshow did something, every other company, even XM Studios, wanted to follow what they were doing. Now it's the opposite. If Prime One Studio or XM Studios produce something for, let's say, for the Dark Knight's Metal, then Sideshow comes with something similar in some way. I'm not saying that it's the same art, but they kind of follow the same line. And I don't know if it has to do with the approval system that DC does, but to be honest, it's just the way they're doing it. It's like everyone is kind of copying each other, and now Sideshow is not really leading the way. It's just kind of following, and it's just trying to keep up with the rest of the guys, with the cool kids on the block. I think at least it gives us options. You get the affordable option, and you also have the most expensive option. And at the same time, sometimes even the affordable option, in my opinion, is better than the most expensive option. It's a matter of opinion, of course. But here you can see the dimensions of this piece. So it has some height, 31.5 inches in height. I think the width and the depth is fine. It's 22 by 21.5. I think that's perfect. And I think that's another thing that I would say about Sideshow, that they know, in comparison to other companies, they know how important it is for collectors to have proper space for this. They don't want to have something so bulky with huge bases that take a lot of real estate, that are really cumbersome to display. So they give you that, and that's something that Sideshow has done, and I think they're masters of that. Their bases, they're not the most appealing per se, or the biggest bases in the world, but in my opinion, they just serve the purpose. Now here you can see from this angle, it's interesting the way he's falling there and the way this is located, the lighting. One thing people were not happy is the Joker. People point that out. A lot of people were saying that Joker shouldn't be there, and to be honest with you, I don't have a problem with the Joker face, the sculpt there, kind of like a gargoyle there. And to be honest, the reason why I'm not against it, it's because I feel that in the end, the Joker is a big aspect of the story. A lot of times people think The Dark Knight Returns at the final confrontation between Batman and Superman as the main event in the story. And of course, it's the final showdown there between Batman and Superman. But in the end, I don't think as a person that have read the story many times, I never considered that the most important aspect of the story, because ultimately Batman is not necessarily fighting with Superman. It's not two different worlds colliding or two different ideas, whether it's Superman's ideas and Batman ideas. In the end, it's Batman fighting with himself. The Joker has always been the antagonist of Batman. They're very similar in so many ways, but at the same time, their approach to what they're doing, their grief, pain, and the world is very different. And I think Frank Miller explored the ideas there. Batman doesn't want to return because he's completely jaded. He has given up with the idea of being the Batman because he thinks the world, no matter how much he tries, to bring criminals to justice, the world continues to revolve around the same thing, and the world doesn't change. And because the world doesn't change, what is the point of what he's doing and the sacrifices that he has made? That's how the story starts in the Batman and the Dark Knight Returns. So that is the concept. He is jaded, has given up on the mantle, but he is in many ways confronted with the reality who he is as a person. And of course, part of the story, at the center of the story, is the Joker's ideas and confrontations with him in the end, what he thinks, the Batman, definitely there's no point of what he's doing in a world that in many ways has rejected him, but he's accepting of the Joker's point of view. So that's actually the story in itself. And I'm just getting too geeky here with the story, but that's the point. And I think at the center of the whole Dark Knight Returns, this balance, or in this case, this confrontation of ideas and I would say ideologies between Batman and the Joker. It is also bloody, which is something really cool and something that Sideshow normally doesn't do much. Something that you would see with Prime 1 Studio and even with XM Studio. It's not a clean depiction, it's a very mature depiction, but I think it works really good. I think they did a fantastic job. The paint job, Esquivel, as always, a fantastic painter. Another thing people are pointing out that they're very happy is that he has a sculpted cape. And I think it works because of the way this is represented. You have to sculpt this. This is very dynamic, and it works with this one really good. I think it's just perfect the way it is. He has the battle damage. I think it's really good. The paint job is good. And the Joker definitely is something that it will be a point of contention. One thing that they could have done also have just to make him removable, or maybe add a different gargoyle thing to it so people can change stuff. But at the same time, keep in mind the price point, less than $700. I think this is definitely a winner. And to be honest, there are a lot of options out there right now, and you can go for the more expensive option with XM Studios. But I will tell you, this is not a bad representation, and it's a very iconic one. Yes, ultimately it's a matter of choice. You might not be so keen because the way he's in mid-air and the fear of this being fragile because of it. But, at the same time, I think in this case, Sideshow has done a good job in representing this. Daniel Bale, as always, impresses. In my opinion, I will tell you one thing. The first statues that Daniel Bale produced, anatomy was good. I wasn't crazy about how he posed some of those pieces. I think they were not realistic enough. But to be honest with you, I've seen Daniel Bale improve over time. I've seen him over the years, his art being more refined. It's growing. Of course, he's getting a lot of work with Sideshow. He's getting the chance to display that and to really showcase his talent. And he's getting better and better and better. And he's doing this dynamic poses. He's becoming more and more brave on them. And to be honest with you, it's good. I applaud him for that. He is fantastic. I think he has a bright future. Also, Richard Long is a great designer. So I will tell you, this is a winner in my opinion. Overall, price point, the piece, it's not perfect per se, 100%, but it's a great representation of the Dark Knight Returns for those who are fans of Frank Miller's graphic novel. So I will tell you, it is a plus for me, and definitely one that you should consider for your collection. But what is your opinion, my friends? What do you think about this piece? Do you like it? You don't like it? Do you agree with me? You don't agree with me? Let me know in the comments below. So once again, my friends, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, to comment, and to subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification button to be reminded of the next video. Follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The links are down below. And please consider supporting the channel financially through Patreon. My friends, God bless you. Take care. I will talk to you again. Bye-bye.